And let's go ahead and confirm it on YouTube as well. So yes, we are live. Everybody, welcome to our troubleshooting, technical troubleshooting videos. Basically, this session is going to be live with Kevtech and with other people who are already in IT. Some people have landed a job already, and some people are just coming in and joining in for the first time. So this is an open type of session, and we're going to learn a lot from different type of people, how they think about troubleshooting. And this way we can start our this session. Basically, this session is an open session, so it can go left or right. We're going to keep it more to the topic, which is troubleshooting, basic level troubleshooting, and a little bit of sysadmin. How do you basically talk to sysadmin? What do they do in their part of their job? It's a connection. It's everything's connection. We'll talk about it. So first, before I start, what I would like to do is I'm going to share my screen so everybody can just let me know. Can you guys see my screen? Once I share right now, hold on. There you go. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Can you guys see my screen, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So before we get into this video, the people who are new, they haven't done their introduction before. The people who are already with us, we already know about them. The people who are brand new to this session, can you guys come up on the mic? I'm going to basically call you out. If you have a mic, just come up quickly. So, and just 20 seconds, why did you choose this session, and what is your expectation? So Miguel, since you're on the camera, go ahead and give us a little quick introduction about yourself.
All right, so my name is Miguel, most likely. What I could say is that I do have an associate's degree with network and administration security. The reason why I kind of joined this community is to find ways of how to increase my experience in IT, pretty much. So at this point, I'm still in the entry level position, like in the entry concept where, although I do have some type of experience, I'm trying to gain more. That way I could expand my skill as a technician pretty much.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Miguel. So is Ishi there? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead and do a quick introduction and then let's.
Okay, my name is Ishi. The reason I joined this group is that actually I worked in customer service for over 5 years. And I had actually just started in just basics, just dabbling in a little bit of like tech support, but not really fully. And I guess, well, since not many of us are working, I found Kevtech and actually Jobskillshare's videos on YouTube, revamped my resume completely, actually have already started going through their channels and
Awesome.
kind of learning how to troubleshoot and just do basics of help desk. So it's good to just communicate and also connect with others sharing the same, platform.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jerry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jerry Lerma. I've been working with an IT person. Well, I was working with an IT person for about a year, and I decided to try to go on my own and learn more of the IT world. When I was working with this gentleman, I actually learned a lot from him, and just things went a little different, and I'm actually went on my own. I got a couple of customers that I have.
Okay.
And then trying to build up their network and stuff.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. Welcome. Andy, are you here? Do you want to come on the mic, Andy? Okay, so if Andy's not here, Ricardo, are you here?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me, but.
Oh, sorry. Who's talking here? I don't even know.
This is Ricardo.
Oh, Ricardo. Okay, what's up, Ricardo? Go ahead and do your introduction. I already know about you, but go ahead and do your quick introduction right here.
Hey, what's up, man? My name is FaZe. I'm always in the comments. I'm a network tech / field service tech for 12 years. I recently got my CCNA, but I joined you guys and I watched this so I could learn basically the inner workings of just a regular IT job, like what everybody do on the everyday basis. I need to educate myself more on the everyday applications and the policies and the way you guys do things from the inside, because I'm trying to work my way in.
So let me ask you a quick question, because you've been watching most of our sessions since you have a lot of experience already. Do you think you have learned something as a technician who was already working in IT from the past session that we were doing? Did you learn anything new?
Yeah, I learned some stuff. I mean, my thing was, I just recently learned the, I did a lot of the, follow a lot of the Active Directory stuff that you have shown.
Okay.
Which is something that they asked a lot in the interview. I'm not as good as I could be just yet. And then, I also follow, Kevtech. I just follow one of his courses he did showing how to install Server 2016 and, Exchange Server, which is something that I did for the first time, which I never would have done in my job. See,
yeah,
but
Exchange is not a, yeah, definitely.
Right. I never feel comfortable talking about these things in interviews, which is why what you guys show is great. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's wonderful. I've been to numerous interviews where they ask me these questions, but I'm familiar with it, but I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I never implement.
All right. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Right. Who's next over here that we haven't talked to? Mary Carr, are you there? Mary, sorry, I'm kind of not pronouncing your name correctly, I guess.
Hello. Yeah, and you said it right.
Okay, so go ahead and do your introduction quickly, and then we can move on.
Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be in this discussion. I just finished my ITA, Information Technology Administrator, 2018. I had a little bit of experience from my internship, a short 2 contracts after that, and then almost a year now that I don't have a job in IT, and I'm trying to get back into it. So my challenge right now is to get back into IT, and then I had a few interviews, like on the phone, video, and in person, but they can tell that I don't have much technical skills.
Okay.
Based on the interview that we had, so I can go further because they can tell, the interviewee, the company can tell that I don't know what I'm talking about, but
yeah,
I need more on hands-on.
Hands-on, okay.
That's how I learn.
Okay, thank you so much for joining in. Radha, you just joined in. Would you come on the mic and give a quick introduction? And this will be the last one, and the rest we can just do it next session then maybe. If you're there, you can just come up on the mic quickly and just do the introduction if you want to come.
Further, because they can tell, the interviewee, the company can tell that I'm.
So Radha, go ahead and mute your.
I need more. That's how I.
So sorry guys, Radha, I think our voice is very, it's like you're getting it too late right here. So Kev, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so before we start, the first thing what I want to do is I want to basically play this audio from Rahul, because I told him that you landed a job, but you can't just land a job in our platform. The one of the things is that you got to give back to the platform, and everybody who lands a job in our platform has to come back and give us all the interview questions and the kind of like experience, because that's exactly what you guys are looking for. Most of you want to know what happens in the interview. So it's just a quick audio, and let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you guys?
Danish, I started posting my resumes like 3-4 days ago. Then I got a call on this Monday, like yesterday. Then I got this interview, like a network and system technician. That was the job title. So today was my interview, and in the first, it was like a normal talk. Then he started asking me some technical questions about Active Directory, how you add the users, Then he started asking me about some hardware stuff, like how you install printer. After that, he told me, he asked me about some questions about Microsoft Office 365, how you set up an email, how you set up an Outlook. So yeah, I told him, he asked me about my ticketing system. So I told him I worked on Spiceworks, but he told me they are using some different kind of software. So he told me to go on YouTube and learn a little bit of that stuff. But man, one thing I'm gonna tell you, the resume is outstanding. That guy has like almost like 10 resumes, and he told me I picked.
Okay, guys. So I know the last voice is basically saying that the
He
resume,
was so impressed by that resume.
and he also joined in right now. So what I wanted to basically, the reason I played this audio has a lot of something very important. No, everybody is asking for what? Active Directory, Office 365, printer, and these are all they're asking you. Do you know how to use it or troubleshoot it, right? So it's so important for you to know troubleshooting, because in reality, if you look at it, yes, you're learning all the Active Directory stuff from the last sessions. These are all actually processes, and if you don't know these type of things, then you cannot troubleshoot. So what I'm basically implying right here, if you don't go to our first sessions, then this session is kind of like not too useful, right? Are you guys getting the point? Because if you don't understand what Active Directory is, or let's say in the beginning we were talking about some of the, like, how do you add permissions, or how do you add a computer to a domain, right there you got issues going on right there. If you don't understand that, so this means you're going to be struggling with with all of these troubleshooting things that we're going to talk today. Most of it, 80% of the time, you will struggle in the real life. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to learn anything from this session. You're going to learn pretty good stuff, and it's going to be directly what we're teaching you. But when it comes to troubleshooting has to be understood. You cannot just go and specifically start troubleshooting on a specific issue. You got to understand how to approach troubleshooting. So what is the key term right here? Approaching, right? How do you approach an issue? Anywhere you have an issue, if a baby is crying, you want to know why the baby is crying, right? You just don't just go there and apply things over there. I'm sure there's some cases you do that, but you want to know what happened, right? You want to protect that as well. So it's not just reactive troubleshooting, it's actual proactive troubleshooting as well. So you want to be able to save yourself and your time for in future. So the first thing, what we want to learn, and I'm not like Kevtech, who's like, he has a really nice documentation going on and everything. My documentations are pretty simple, like, notepad, right? So I'm an outdated tech right here. So the first thing, I already played Radha video right here. And first thing is why we need to understand roles first in this training, in this session. Now, if someone can just look at this, what I'm asking, why am I asking you this? Can anybody give me an answer? Why do we need to understand the roles in IT first before we get into troubleshooting? Why am I asking that?
Can I say? I mean, I got a guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My guess would be the better you know your role, the more you know how far your limits on what you can work on, like as far as troubleshooting or whatever. You know when to stop.
Perfect. That's a perfect answer. Now, if the people who are brand new to this stuff, the reason I started with basically talking about knowing your role is extremely important. So the first thing we want to talk about, if you're going to land a job, where are you going to be placed? What kind of infrastructure you're going to be working on, right? So the first thing we need to understand is in terms of troubleshooting, you have to understand what kind of company, what kind of infrastructure you're going to be getting hired. So if I tell you that one company is like this and they're calling themselves what? MSP, right? And if this MSP hired you, the level of troubleshooting, the things that you're going to be troubleshooting is going to be totally different than the company that is going to hire you in a very small building. Like this is a very small building, and this is also, they're also looking for IT professional. They're also looking for IT professional. Now, if somebody knows these two things that I'm talking about, can you guys give me an example? Why would these two be a little different type of troubleshootings right there? They're not going to be too different, but there's going to be differences. Even Kevtech can talk about this. Why did I say that there's going to be differences in troubleshooting?
Because they basically have more clients. Perfect. More infrastructure.
More infrastructure. So if you landed a job with MSP, you're going to be managing many businesses from this one place. So then it would involve more tools, more ways to troubleshoot these kinds, and then you're dependent on the infrastructure or the design of that company. So you can't just make up your own things right here. So you're very much going to be relying on a documentation, a process, approvals. It's going to be a pretty hardcore thing for this guy. But if you get hired with this company and they're looking for one technician, right? And they have, let's say, 20 people, then you're going to be focusing on what? How is going to be your troubleshooting, basically how you're going to be troubleshooting. It's going to be very much what they use inside that company. So if they use Windows 10 operating system, and then they have your few Windows servers right there, and they have then specific custom applications, then it totally depends on what they are using, and your troubleshooting will be very much focused into that, right? So what basically I'm implying right here, I'm giving you some kind of image first to break you into troubleshooting. I don't want to just start into, guys, what are the 3 W's right here? Let's talk about who, when, where, whatever. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to first give you an image. Is my image working right now? So if you guys are not getting it, please ask me questions, because this is the time right now. Okay. So is this working? Is this are you guys getting what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So here we have cleared that it doesn't matter where you land a job. The place is going to basically kind of it's going to be a controlling factor of your troubleshooting. So if you landed a job with somewhere they're using a lot of Macs, then your troubleshooting goes towards Macs, right? If a place is using a lot of Linux, then you're going to be having to learn about Linux. If they're using a lot of Windows, then you're going to be learning a lot about Windows 7, Windows 10. So that's what I'm saying, basically. We are dependent where we basically get hired. So that's the first concept. Okay, so I hope this is cleared. Now, the second thing is like this. Guys, if somebody's mic is on and you're not talking, please mute yourself. There's a lot of noise coming out. So the second thing we want to talk about, let's go to a new page right now. Let's go ahead, a new page. The second thing is we need to understand roles right here. So I'm just going to start roles with this. Like we have, let's say this is our career ladder right here. Like this is our career box. And like you guys are like, say right here, level 1. Don't feel bad if you're on the bottom, okay? Level 1, okay? And then you have this second, block right there that we are going to call this level 2 right here. And then we have this third block, and we're going to call it level 3. So if anyone can come on the mic, can somebody explain to me what is level 1? When we talk about level 1 technician, what is that?
Help desk.
Help desk, exactly. But help desk, what kind of troubleshooting this help desk will do if he's considered level 1 or she?
Maybe reset passwords, probably break and fix hardwares.
Exactly. And these are going to be the first line people, right? They're just going to get a ticket. And sometimes you may be hired for ticketing. What I mean by like you will understand a product, some kind of product, and then people will send an issue to you, and then you will be basically assigning that issue based on that level 1 knowledge, right? So you could be also fixing that issue and closing that issue. So most likely, if you get hired by a large organization, they have thousands of people, then they're going to have hundreds of IT people, right? So then they're going to have levels, and in levels, then they will be basically assigning these calls to different type of people. But it's not always like this. You may get hired with a company, and you could be a one-man IT shop right there. You could be a sysadmin. At the same time, you could be an IT person. You could be a help desk, and you could be doing every single thing inside the company. Now, I don't like to promote that kind of IT stuff. If you find it great, learn it, move on, and go for bigger companies. So then you can, enjoy your IT career based on your skills, right? So, of course, this is what we are targeting today. The troubleshooting starts from here. We cannot jump to level 3 while we haven't even talked about level 1 over here. It doesn't make sense, right? We cannot talk about something scripting or PowerShell, stuff like that, how to fix things through PowerShell. Well, we have never touched PowerShell. So that won't make any sense. So after this, of course, in roles, when we talk about roles, then after that, you have multiple different roles in IT. Now, I'm just going to talk about the one that are well known in IT. There are many out there, but we're just going to talk about a few. So you have one role that's what? Sysadmin, right? I'm just going to call it sysadmin right here. And then you have another one that's network administrators. So if somebody, network engineer, I'm just going to make it a little more clear. So if somebody tell me, what is sysadmin and what is a network engineer? Anybody knows anything?
Yeah, sysadmin mostly responsible for servers and network engineer for network, obviously.
Network, what do you mean by network is everything?
Well, I mean like for how traffic going through the network, how is like
Router,
switches, set up switches, yeah.
You know, it could be maybe, you know, even at firewall level. But here's the thing, a sysadmin can be doing the network stuff too, right? A network engineer could be doing the sysadmin stuff too. But most likely, like I said, if it's a very big company, then they basically separate these roles. So a server engineer or sysadministrator doesn't mean he has to only know about server these days. You have to know about virtualizations. You have to know about websites. You have to know about cloud now. So there's so many things for a sysadmin to learn. And why are we talking about this role like this? Because this level 1 has to know, because if the troubleshooting tickets come to level 1, he has to be able to define who gets this call, right? They don't, in IT, okay, if you're brand new, they're gonna be okay with you for 1 or 2 months. But of course, like if I ask Ricardo, after this many years, could he assign a very basic call to a network engineer that's supposed to go to a sysadmin? Of course, he's gonna tell me that would be a piss off type of ticket, right? If it keeps happening again, because they're going to say, hey man, I mean, you should be assigning tickets correctly, so it saves us time and stuff like that. So that's why, again, you need to know a lot about just overall network and overall fundamentals. This is where I'm going, basically. Like, you're going to be asking me, okay, this video is telling me to learn, but where do I learn it, right? That's going to be another question. So the first thing, and from my notes, we're saying that after this, when you want to understand about the whole infrastructure, or understand about the roles, this is for the brand new people who want to get into IT. This is my recommendation, and I'll put this course inside our description. So we created this course. It's called IT Fundamental V1.0. And if you come down, this course is basically free. You don't even have to register. The things basically that I want you to learn. I'm not talking about the labs over here, stuff like that. That's not free. But if you look at it, and if you click on these plus signs, you can click on these videos and start learning today. So you see, it's tell you what, transitioning to IT career. So you need to understand what kind of jobs do we do, right? So then you have these real world daily scenarios. In these scenarios, we're teaching you on a real camera. We're showing you printers, we're showing you equipments, and we're showing you different type of calls that we're doing on the work. So they're like basically about 10 to 15 tickets that we have performed. So that gives you, okay, this is the kind of work that I have to be doing as a level 1. So that what is happening with this? That build confidence. And another thing is that we also want to make sure that we don't waste people time. Like in colleges, they drag you, certification, they drag you, and then you at the end find out that this is not what I wanted to do. This is not the IT that I was thinking. So by just looking at this video for free, you can decide today that if you want to invest money, time, and energy in IT, because you will clearly find out that do you really want to do this or not, right? So that real world video, that unit right there is going to really, really help you. And how long it is? About 37 minutes. Then if you come down, it says IT complex infrastructure. Understanding the complex infrastructure these days is super important. I mean, we have on-prem thing working with cloud. And inside the on-premises, we have virtualization working. So even as a level 1, if you don't know what is virtualization, and you don't know most of it, then you're going to struggle. It's not that you're not going to be able to land a job. It's just that you're going to be struggling. So now if you come back over here, I want you guys to definitely come all the way right here, and do not miss this right here where it says core IT learning for IT professionals. This is what I was talking about in the beginning. If you don't understand how networks are connected, how networks are talking to each other at a very basic level, this means your troubleshooting is going to suck. If you don't understand the model of network, then this means it's going to take you, instead of 3 months of learning, it's going to take you probably 2 years of learning to understand everything. Some people learn it manually by doing it, the same process, and it takes them 6 to 7 years to realize that I'm still struggling with my base, right? You cannot build a building without a strong foundation. Have you ever heard somebody building a building without a foundation? It will break, it will go down, right? You guys agree with that, right? So the foundation over here is extremely important. It has to come down. You guys have to come down and at least learn about these things, because troubleshooting has to do with this. TCP, UDP, IP addresses. We're not teaching that kind of stuff in this training, right? And all of that stuff is pretty boring stuff. So just make sure you have a little patience while you guys are going through this. So Any questions so far? Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hear you.
Okay, sorry.
So far, so good.
Okay, great. So now this is where it's a free course, guys. In the beginning, the whole thing's like what I want you guys to learn. This is a lot of content right there for free. Now, of course, the bottom one is an actually hands-on learning. That's not troubleshooting. It's actually getting into IT. That's something you have to become a member. And we don't want to talk about that right now. But the top part is important. And then you can come back to YouTube and you can start keep on learning. It's exactly the same thing that we're teaching, but that's more hands-on, like using our labs and everything. And later on, I'll talk about it. I don't want to talk about it right now. So if you want to stick around later on, I will tell you. If you really want to get into this hands-on of our courses, then I will tell you that. So now I want to bring in Kevtech. Are you ready for just your starting point, and then we can phase in to the more technical stuff?
Yeah, you could let me share your screen. Let me take over.
Okay. Go ahead, and you got a screen now.
All right. Hopefully you see my screen. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
Here we go. All right. So I want to go over like entry level stuff. Job skills. Is that okay with you?
Oh yeah, that's what we want to do. Entry level. Everything has to be like extreme entry level.
Okay. So today we're gonna go over common entry level help desk issues. So the first thing I want to go over is Outlook, and I don't want to do it on my computer or my desktop. I want to do it on a virtual machine. So I already have it set up. So I have a virtual machine right over here, and I'm gonna log into it. So if you guys don't know, I have a virtual machine that has server Exchange 365 and server 2016 on this, and I have Outlook on it as well. So I'm about to just go over it real quick.
And while Kev is logging in, 60% of your calls are going to be coming from Outlook type of applications. It's one of the most common tickets that you're going to see is from Outlook. Why? Because so many people are using it at work. So that's why we want to start with Outlook.
So common issues you're going to have with Outlook is not responding. I'm not getting emails. My Outlook keeps crashing. My Outlook items are going to the recycle bin. I just deleted my folder. I need access to a calendar. I need access to contacts. So I'm going to go over it little by little. I'm not going to go like crazy because it's like too much information. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. So if someone's having an issue with Outlook, common sense is you go into file, you go into options, you go into add-ins, and you go into, if you guys think I'm going too fast, let me know and I'll slow down. And go into COM add-ins. So under COM add-ins, sometimes you'll have plugins that are not affiliated with Outlook, and that might be causing Outlook to crash. So that's like a level 1 thing. So if anyone has an issue with Outlook, it might be that they have a plugin installed on Outlook that's causing it to crash. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Maybe you've seen that before, but typically that does happen, unfortunately. Another issue you'll have with Outlook is basically your OST profile gets corrupted. So basically your Outlook profile gets corrupted, and then basically you can't open Outlook whatsoever. So a way to get into that, into creating a new mail. So you go into control panel, you go into mail, and then you see where it says show profile. You just create a new one. You could just remove the other one. So like if I create one that's called Outlook, for example, and I hit OK, it automatically generates the server, and you hit next. And it's going to just establish the connection. And then it should be good after that. So now you want it to always open with Outlook instead of test. So you just change the default to Outlook. You hit OK, and you open Outlook. And when you do that, it's like opening for the first time. So when it does that, it opens for the first time, and basically you just recreated the Outlook profile. So that's like another thing you will see with Outlook. Another issue you'll see is when, for example, someone is getting a bunch of emails, and for some weird reason, some of the emails are going into the trash bin. So the first thing you want to check as an IT person is you want to check the rules. So usually there's a rule, it's called manage rules and alerts. So they might have a rule that's telling it to go to a specific folder or a trash bin. So you might want to clear those rules first, or see which one is causing it to do that. Another Outlook issue, or another Outlook thing that you should know or be aware of it's account permissions. So say, for example, someone wants access to a calendar. Obviously, on the calendar section, you could right click here and go to properties, and you go into permissions, and then you could add the person on the calendar. And then, there's different things you could do here. There's owner, there's publisher, there's editor, there's free busy time, and then you just add them in here. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what this is. So there's a calendar tab, then there's a context tab as well. So you do the same thing on context tab, and you could add someone here. If you want to do like delegation access, like give them access to your whole mailbox, your contacts, your calendar, that will be under file. So if you go into file and you go into account settings and you go into delegate access, basically you give someone access to everything on your account, basically. So you have, editor for calendar, editor for task, inbox, contacts, and notes. So, and that's pretty much Outlook. I could go in more depth with it, but
now, Kev, let's just stop over here with the Outlook, and I want to ask a few questions from other people who have been through the Outlook stuff. So, guys, is there something that you guys have dealt with in Outlook that you feel like you want to share in this live session? If you have done it, this will help our community as well. So, have you guys did anything like this?
I've had issues with people when I've went to like customers, they will complain about their like the view set of how Outlook would look, pretty much because they'll just randomly just touch buttons. So pretty much I will fix their view the way it was previously. Like if a migration happened, like update will happen, pretty much I will fix their view the way it previously was before the update.
So guys, one other thing I want to talk about in Outlook is that, some people will be, for example, they will be using this command safe mode. And while Kev is on there, what happened with the safe mode is that if, let's say, for example, your Outlook is having a lot of issues, right? And people want you to troubleshoot. Now, this is for the people who are going for interview. They may ask you to run Outlook with a safe mode. So see what Kev did. He basically went in there and he typed Outlook/safe, right? Right, Kev? That was a command?
Yep.
So he write that. Now, what happened was that it disables all of the other external add-ons. So this way you can eliminate the problem. So for example, if there's an issue with the add-on, it's going to basically disable all of the add-ons and it will open the Outlook. So now what does that tell you? That there's an issue with what? Right? There's an issue with add-on, right? Or this could be an issue with other things too. So it's like for you to understand that there is an ability for you to turn on the Outlook from the Windows. They have given you this command. And why did I bring this up in this session? Because people are going to ask you. Some people will ask you in the interview technical question, how do you open an Outlook in safe mode? What is the command, right? That they're going to basically do the same thing what Kev is doing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is a very common thing, and I'm sure Kev has seen this, is people start clicking on Outlook and it never comes up. Right, Kev? Have you seen this? It will never come up. So where do you fix it? You see how, Kev, go a little slow with them. See what they're seeing. Here you go. Right click, go to Task Manager, and then you will see Outlook like 10 times. Like his Google Chrome is showing there, right? Like 5, that's his real tabs right there. But the Outlook will also show like 10, 15 times, and people complain and they're getting mad. Okay, it's not coming up. I clicked on it 10 times. Now, of course, you don't want to just go there and start clicking on Task Manager, killing everything. You're going to be in trouble. You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you kind of take your time here. Now, troubleshooting right here, because we're talking about troubleshooting, we have to teach you how to perform troubleshooting as well. So first of all, be calm, right? When you go in front of the computer, people are going to be mad, or people are not going to be happy in the beginning. People are going to have attitude problem. People are going to have, they're going to maybe say something that you may take it personally. So the first thing you should learn in troubleshooting is what? Be patient and don't think about what they're telling you personally. And that's your moment. When they start talking, that's your moment to grab information for yourself, so then you can troubleshoot it with a calm mind. So did you guys get this point? Because that's more important than troubleshooting, basically, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so go ahead, Kevin. That's what I wanted to just add a little bit about that.
All right. Yeah. So thank you, Danish. So I'm gonna go over Excel now, because those are like the majority of your issues. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like the majority are Outlook issues and Excel issues. I don't know. It's just common for some reason. So Excel is the same thing. So we go into File, go into Options, go into Add-ins, And then when you click on add-ins, you want to check Excel add-ins. And then you also want to check the comms add-ins. So there's another tab called comms add-ins. So you want to check that as well. So it's usually stored in 2 places. Some people might have an add-in, like, I give you an example. I had someone who had Macavicus, CapIQ, and Bloomberg on their Excel, and they're like, why does it keep crashing? And then I disabled Macavicus, and then Excel was working fine after that. So it turns out that Macavicus and CapIQ don't work together with each other. So basically, I had to disable one add-in, and then after that, I had to call the software team in CapIQ and get a different version of CapIQ because it wasn't compatible with it.
But Kev, how did you find out that?
So I basically opened up safe mode and I just started unchecking add-ins one by one, basically. So
guys, are you guys hearing this point? Why did I ask him? Because that's very important. Troubleshooting. He did a process. He knew something about a command, right? Right, Kev?
Yep.
So he used that, and he basically then started to go one by one. This means he didn't know from the beginning that, hey, I'm having issue with this one specific area. He has to go one by one, so that requires patience. And at the same time, he needed to know this process. So somehow he learned this process of troubleshooting before he wouldn't get to this part, right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah. So then there's other options. There's like a lot of different things you could do on Excel. And there's also like you right click, and then if you could create a new book or a new tab. So basically, if someone is having an issue with this specific Excel file or Excel sheet, maybe it's corrupted, maybe something happened to it. So you might want to go to previous versions. Like you right click and go to previous versions. It actually on the shared drives or on the IT infrastructure side of things, you could go back in time and get a working version of that Excel file. You could do that actually. So some companies back it up 2-3 times a day. Some companies do it 4 times a day. You know, every company is different. So here you might want to create a new copy of it and see if that fixes that Excel file from crashing. Another thing you might want to do is say, for example, I'm going to create a workbook, right? Just going to create this workbook. I'm going to put it in downloads folder. Say, for example, it still doesn't want to work for some weird reason. If you open up Excel, and if you go into the blank worksheet and you go into the Excel file on your downloads folder, so let's just pretend that that's a corrupted file, right? So in downloads folder, there's this tab called open and repair. So you could actually open and repair the file, which people don't really talk about, or some people do know about if they've been in IT for a while. So there's open and repair. So you could actually repair the file. If the file keeps getting corrupted and it keeps crashing, you might want to try that as a workaround to see if that fixes it. So if you do that, it's going to ask you a bunch of stuff. It might remove some formulas, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to repair? You hit yes, and then it'll repair the file after that. So that's another thing you might want to do. Another thing you might want to do is you might want to have someone else open it on their Excel application, because you want to see if they're having the issue, or is it like everyone's having the issue, or it's just one person having the issue. So basically, if someone has an Excel file and it works fine for everyone else, then you know it's specific to that one user or that one person. So you want to do process of elimination and see if it's just one person being affected by it. So if you know everyone else it's working for them, so obviously you go to the person that it's not working for them, and you have to figure out what's going on. Maybe they had a Windows update, maybe there was an add-in, maybe something recently happened to their Excel for some reason. Maybe you have to run a Microsoft Office repair. You don't know. So if it works fine for everyone else, obviously there's something going on with their Excel. Another thing is like the last thing for Excel. Another thing you want to look at, and these are all the things I'm recommending. These are all Microsoft fixes. These are not fixes I made up on the fly. These are Microsoft fixes. So if you go into the view devices and printers, see this one that says Microsoft XPS document reader or writer. So if an Excel file is crashing and you set this as the default printer, and actually, if you set this as, I know that sounds crazy. If you set this as a default printer, that actually fixes Excel from crashing. I don't know why. It's a Microsoft recommended fix. I'm not making that up.
Crazy.
I am not making that up. So it's just because I work in a hedge fund environment, so I'm always having people open up big crazy Excel files. So that's something that you might be wary of. And one last thing, I forgot about this. And go to options. Maybe there is if you go to Trust Center, you want to make sure that it's not macros enabled. And also you want to make sure that the location is trusted. So you might have to allow the location and trust the location of that specific shared drive or that file in order for that file to work. Because sometimes it has stuff in it that might be causing it not to work or open.
Yeah, and just want to add one point to this, and make sure if you don't understand about specific, like, macros or opening up a trust file, then maybe you should involve a technician that knows this stuff, because sometimes macros can lead to hacks. So that's just wanting to add one thing on that.
That is correct. It's actually a vulnerability if you enable all macros on an Excel, and it could cause for a backdoor for someone to get into your system, what have you. So is this anything that I mentioned? Is this anything that you guys seen before, or am I making this up? Or
I haven't seen some of it, man. I'm learning it for the first time. What do you guys think?
That tip with the auto repair, when you put the tab where it repairs itself, I never even knew that existed. And I've seen situations where the Excel will crash, and so I definitely seen that before. That's a good tip to have. I definitely took that down in the notes. That's a good pointer though.
Yeah, same here. This is actually the first time that I'm seeing in terms of how to repair Excel sheet, like really the first time. So it's a great tip.
Now, you guys tell me, how many people are going to call you about Excel, and how many people use Excel in their job? I mean, you will be amazed. Every administrative level, manager level, everybody uses Excel, right? So think about the calls that you get as a level 1 are this type of calls, exactly this. Level 1 doesn't go out there and fix a router over there or fix a very big networking issues. They're not doing that. They're exactly what Kev is teaching you right now. This is exactly what you're going to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kev.
All right, so I'm going to teach you guys a real quick trick, which Danish has gone over before, and I'm going to go over right now. So there's this app called Lockout Status Tool. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Maybe you guys are familiar with it. This is Active Directory, by the way. So now I'm actually going into a little more advanced stuff. So say, for example,
I love Active Directory.
Yeah. Say, for example, let's just go over this person, Aaron Wells. And you want to find out what's going on and what's locking him out. This is actually an application that allows you to check this. So if you do select target, and for let's just do A Wells, and you hit OK. So it would actually show you the server and everything, and it would show you how many times they had a bad password count and last bad password, and last time the password was last set.
And let me tell you, I got a call today from help desk, and they were saying that because everybody's working from home, and this one person is saying that my account is keep getting locking out. So the help desk was like, how do I know which machine this is getting locked? So we use similar type of tools to know the source. So I was like, okay, he's using his home laptop. Can you verify that this is his laptop name was laptop Mickey Monkey, something like that, right? So yeah, that's my laptop, and he was keep getting locked out for that. Then he figured out that he at one point saved his password in the password credential, which is inside your computer. And that was keep locking him out. So he went in there, removed that, and now after a day, no lockouts. So we use these type of tools to make our job easy. We've been through this stuff. We have shown a lot of scripting in this platform. And Kev is showing you two guys right now. This is like gold right here, guys. If you guys understand these and how to use these tools, trust me, your learning ability, your troubleshooting ability will not be like a person who's spending a year or two just to know this stuff. You're going to be way ahead of them. Okay.
And you also want to keep in mind that when someone changes their password, make sure they change it on every device they have. So that means their computer, their laptop, their iPad, everything that they have. Just make sure they change it on everything, because something will lock them out. So if they have an old password stored on any of these devices, it will lock them out. Just letting you know. So, all right, getting back into this. So I'm going to open up CMD, and I'm going to show you a cool command real quick. So say, for example, you get a call from someone in your job, like someone that needs help with a password reset, or someone that calls you and they're like, I think my password is expired or something like that. So you want to type net user, and then you put the name of the user. So like this one's A Wells, for example, you put /domain. So if you do that command on the command line, it tells you when their passwords expire, when it was last set. It would also tell you what groups they're part of, and it will tell you a bunch of other things as well. So this is very interesting. Just letting you know, this is something that you might want to be using as a help desk guy or an IT support guy.
Now, let me hold you right there. This is a very good command right there for people who are going to be brand new. Now, let me tell you, when a person user is expired, right? They won't get a notice on their machine that when they're trying to log in, most of the time, what happened is that if they're in the current session, it's basically either going to lock them out, or they're going to get prompts and everything. But if you go to the Active Directory, the Active Directory doesn't tell you that the person user is expired. Like, you can pull up the Active Directory right now, right click on it, go to properties. It won't tell you that this account is expired. So now if you're a brand new technician, you're going to keep unlocking that person, and nothing will happen because the password is expired. So you may go to the computer and you start troubleshooting things, and everything will not be working. Like, application will not work, Outlook will not work, and you will spend a lot of time. But here's the thing, the fix is what? You restart the computer. You simply restart the computer, and then the computer will tell you that your password is expired, you need to change it. You see, so what is the troubleshooting right here? Go there, think about it for a little bit. Now, since you know this command, why would you go to the office and not run this command? I mean, like, that wouldn't make sense anymore now, right? You got to run this command. You got to look at that tool. You got to right click on that user and see if that person is locked out or not. It will save you so much time. And when you go out there, you already know the fix. Or why would you even go out there if you are on the phone or remotely? Hey, can you restart your computer? That's it, done. 2 minutes and the whole situation is over, right? Thank you for showing this command. This is extremely important, right?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that's something. So I'm gonna go over. Yeah, that. All right, so I'm gonna go over the bane of IT: printers, troubleshooting printers, software issues with printers.
I think I'm gonna go, guys. I don't want to hear this stuff.
Everyone is scared of printers. Even I hate printers. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, a couple of things you want to do. So, obviously, you're an admin. You want to type services over here on the bottom. So it would be under admin tools as well. So just letting you know. And also it would be under task manager. So if you go to task manager, actually there's a tab called services. You could do it right here as well. So there's a bunch of places you could go and look for it. But say for example, someone is having and this has happened to me. I don't know if this has happened to Danish, but a printer shows up online, then it shows up offline, it's grayed out, then it shows up online again, then it shows up offline again, and it keeps doing that over and over again. And you're getting really frustrated and annoyed by it, and it just doesn't want to work. So you might want to go into what's called Print Spooner. So it's a service actually. So it's called Print Spooner. You want to stop that service because it's affiliated with the printers, and you want to start it. So that's something that you might want to look into. If you're having an issue with a printer, you might want to reset the services for Print Spooner. I know Danish want to say something.
I want to add something to this type of training, because guys, convert this training into interview questions. I like to do this for my live members. So whatever he's doing right now, think about an interview question. So they're going to ask you about what? How do you fix a printer issue from services, right? What would you restart? Print spooler is something that everybody knows. Everybody knows that's like it's fixed right there. Most of it gets fixed right there. So then you understand this way. If you are watching this training, convert our troubleshooting into interview questions. And right now in 1 hour or 2 hours, you're gonna have a bunch of interview questions. A lot of people ask us, right, Kevtech, can you guys give us an interview questions? These are interview questions, right? You just gotta convert it.
Pretty much, yeah, give or take, pretty much. Another thing you wanna do is print management. So most computers have print management as a tab. So you click on that, and actually you could remove the printer from here. So if you have a printer here, you could actually delete the printer from here, and then actually you go into properties as well, and you can actually add a printer here too. So say for example, I'll give you a hypothetical example. Say, for example, someone wants you to add a printer and they can't add it for some reason as logged in as them. And you could log in you could open this as admin and actually add it for them on their computer. So you don't have to log them out or anything. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So that's actually a fix, actually. So that's another thing you want to look at. Another thing you want to look at is under see local user. Now this is a little dangerous because you got to be careful what you play here. So there is something called, I think, Windows, and then if I am correct, because I haven't checked this in a while, I think it's System 32. And then there's a tab called, I think it's called Spoon. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so in this folder, there's a bunch of drivers in here and a bunch of printers in here. So I'm not gonna go in depth with this, but if you go to Microsoft, it will tell you to delete certain things here in order for that printer to get removed completely from the operating system or that computer. So obviously the common fix for printers as well is obviously if you go into devices and
If
printers.
somebody asks, what if it happens for one specific printer? Do you still restart the print spooler?
If it happens to one specific printer, like is it
Yeah.
Is it happening for everyone or is it just happening for one person?
You say, well, he's saying one printer, one specific printer. I feel like he's saying just one printer, basically. You know, like how it's connected to the domain, and if there are a lot of people sending a job to that printer, would we do that? In my position, if a job is stuck, then every other job is stuck after that. So you got to go for restart, right? I don't know if there's any other solution. You first have to cancel it if it can cancel, but most of the time we go for spooler because we can't cancel it, right?
Yeah, you gotta delete all the jobs. So like, see how this one you see was printing, and then basically you cancel and just delete all the jobs, and then after that you restart the printer. That usually will fix that problem. Sometimes restarting the printer will fix a bunch of problems. It's just,
I mean, to be honest, that was I was gonna say, like restarting a computer, restarting a printer will fix most of the job. But I'm sure you guys don't want to just show up in a room with a director or something and just go there and say, I can fix this. Let me just restart the machine, right? That doesn't look good. That won't make sense, right? You won't just go out there. It's like, let me just restart the machine because I heard that restart can fix 90% of the issues. I mean, try to play around with it. If you have thinking, even if you have that in your mind that I'm going to restart the machine, it's just naturally people don't like that answer, right? Like, I could have done that, right? You don't want to make them feel dumb or something like that, right? So that's why you want to make it little more political, a little more spicy in there. Let me check something. Put a CMD command or ipconfig or something.
oh my god, you're funny, man. So all right, so I was gonna go back to this. Yeah, so another issue. I'm not, I'm obviously, like I said, I'm not gonna go in depth, so I'm gonna get out of this for a second. Another issue is your sound settings, which is something really dumb. Obviously, I know you guys probably know how to troubleshoot it, but sometimes people have issues where the sound don't work, so you might have to change the default sound. They might have a speaker in the headset, and you have to set it on the right setting. So like, say for example, someone has a headphones and they're like, the sound's not coming from my headphones. Why is it not coming from my headphones? You got to change the default sound, obviously. So if you go into the sound settings, you open that up. Obviously, you have to go into it. You have to right click on it and set the default sound. So you have like this recording, this is for like your microphone. And then this is for your headset, basically. So another thing you want to know about this, which people might not know, I'm not sure what Danish has, but this is a Microsoft Windows update. You have to allow the microphone on Windows 10. So I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to go over that right now. So if you go into microphone, privacy settings, so you have to allow the app in order to access the microphone. So this is included for Skype. So if you're using Skype in your domain or your Skype in your company, you have to allow Skype as a microphone setting, if that makes sense. Otherwise, Skype doesn't work. Janish, I don't know if you've seen this before.
Since you're talking about updates right now, you just picked on that. Most of the issues, even not, this is a specific feature right there, but then most of the issues also you have to wait. Like for example, yesterday we were doing what, and you were actually live on you were doing a administrative tool installation, but you are looking at it and it's not coming up or anything that could be related to anything. So maybe the Windows is waiting on updates. It has to complete its updates for you to get something then. So make sure you always keep that in the mind. If you go into troubleshooting and you're not able to achieve your goals and you think that that's how 10 people did it, they are seeing the results. Why am I not seeing the results? This means maybe your computer is waiting on restarts, waiting on new updates, security updates. You really got to do that process. Okay.
Yeah. So you want to, so sometimes this is the, like Danish said, like sometimes you want to, a hypothetical example, someone's having issues with a computer. You want to make sure when was the last time it worked. You might want to check the latest updates. You want to see when was the last time it worked, basically. So like this, and that has to do with applications. That has to do with the operating system. has to do with a bunch of things on the computer. So, you wanna investigate first before you just start troubleshooting. You want to ask a series of questions, before you start. Yeah, like someone's having an issue with a printer, and then you remove the printer, and then it doesn't work after that for anyone. It's just you gotta troubleshoot everything, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna go into. Don, you want to say something?
Kev, would you be okay if I take over? Because since you mentioned this process and I talk about this process and then you take over again, this will give you break too. So then you can, I know you're a tough guy, but I'm sure you want to get some break too, So guys, this is important thing that he just discussed, process. So let's just talk about that a little bit, because we started that in the beginning and then we jumped into technical. So make this training more lively and you can understand what we're doing right now. These are basic stuff. But if I share my screen with you, can you guys give me a kind of like a, kind of tell me that this is working?
We see you.
Okay. So this is actually a part of, when we give out this training or somebody buys our membership, they get like multiple different type of accesses from us, but you don't have to get it. You can go to professormesser.com and type Professor Messer CompTIA A+ and troubleshooting process. And he has the same flowchart type of thing. And everybody has some type of like a chart right there. Now this is a video, but I'm not gonna play the video over here. I wanna basically show you this chart right here. This is the flow that every technician's kind of somehow uses it. It doesn't matter if you have to be professional about it. You can change things around. If you know the fix, you can quickly fix it without even thinking about the process. But at a certain point when you grow in your career, like for example, I'm doing a sysadmin job or I'm doing a network engineer level job, I can't just jump around to certain things. There's a lot of things that are involved in that. And with that, I'm going to show you a real example in a Word document, how many things are involved for a sysadmin to fix an issue. So that will give you an idea. So if you look at number one, the first thing that we're talking about right here is what? Is the problem, right? We're talking about you got a call, somebody called you and they're saying, hey, we got a problem going on, right? So this is where then you have to know that a lot of people don't even talk about this. This is where then you have to know what kind of approach are you using and what kind of issue is coming from what type of medium, right? What I'm saying, is this coming from an email? Is this coming from a phone? Is this coming from a chat? So what am I talking over here? You need to have a customer support type of skills, soft skills to pick up a phone. Now you have a phone with you. You're doing multitasking. At the same time, you are showing reactiveness to do the troubleshooting. So think about that. Now, this is not going to come to you without practice. I can guarantee you right now. If you go and land a job today without training or without doing this practice, I can guarantee you will pick up the call and you'll start shaking. I'm not joking. You'll start shaking. Why? Because if you are not used to this stuff, you can't concentrate. You're being reactive to do something technically while you need to listen to a person. So this is something that requires what? It requires practice. So how do you practice? You basically create virtual machines, just like how Kev is using. Create your own virtual machines and then talk to yourself, or maybe tell your members or somebody. And if you take our training, we actually test you, and we have done that in this training too. We will say, hey, Bilal, go ahead and pick up the call and call us. And then if they're like stuttering, we're like, hey, bro, you cannot stutter. This is not a job where you can be like, okay, there's nothing like that. We're going to train you so that you become a smooth type of technician, right? So after that, what happens after that? You have to think about it. What is the cause right here, right? The cause can be so many things in troubleshooting. There's no end to it. Nobody can teach you on causes over here, right? We're teaching you certain things right here because this is the stuff that it gives you confidence. But it doesn't mean that me and Kevtech showed you 5 things in Outlook, then you're not gonna basically, see this thing. Did somebody wanted to ask a question? I'm hearing my own sound right now. Can somebody go on mute, please? There you go. Okay. So basically, this is after that, when you determine the cause and you kind of like, go over the, okay, this is where it's coming from. I got some idea. You don't want to just go to the computers when you're brand new to start applying your fixes. You got to make sure you test it. So inside, if you're a brand new technician and you're starting to work, ask people, ask them, can I get a virtual machine? Can I get a second machine to because I'm brand new? And when you have this attitude to tell people that I want to learn, trust me, a sysadmin, network engineer, a level 1 technician. They're all there for you. This is how we learn, by the way. In IT, we are not evil people, right? We love to teach people. If a Kevtech has so much experience, a brand new person sits with him, I'm sure he's not going to tell the person, don't ask me. He will love to be teaching that person, but at the same time, you don't want to make up things. Now, this is how a person got fired that he was working with us. And at that time, he was a sysadmin and we were the help desk. And now he was telling us to basically, you need to take out the NIC card from a machine that has a built-in NIC in there. So I brought the machine to him and I'm like, brother, how do you take this NIC card from this machine? Show it to me and I'll just leave this IT job right now. And then this is where I got into kind of like a fight with him. Like, don't say things if you don't understand things. Don't use anything. Don't make up things. So similar goes to resumes. Do not make up stuff on there. And also do not make up stuff inside, when you start working. Do not show that I have so much knowledge. If you tell other people that I'm here to learn, they're going to help you. So that's where it's going to really, really be beneficial when you're starting doing tests. And then, of course, planning comes into the virtual machine and stuff like that. And then the implementation with more customer service skills. You go into the office, you're being nice to the person. So this is where I give another example, Kev, and you may want to also add into this. I tell people, if you started working from the beginning, let's say this is your first week, and you got a call from a 3rd floor. Now, would you take up a machine and remote into that machine without introducing yourself? Or would you go down and actually meet and interact with that person? What would be the best thing here? The best thing would be to go down, meet that person, can make connections as a help desk person. This is going to help you in future. In reviews, in performance reviews, and when you're growing with your career, that's the attitude that people are going to like. They're not going to just like, you're brand new, they don't even know you. And like, I know the remote skills, SCCM. I learned it from Jobskillshare. And I'm just going to remote into the machine, fix the problem. And they're going to be like, wow, this person is so new and didn't even have like, no customer service skills right here. Like he just kind of fixed it. Of course, he's a technical person, but that's not what you want to do right here. Then after that, of course, you want to verify it. And the last thing, the most important thing for you as a level 1 technician, everybody's going to be looking at you like this, like an eagle, is documentation. If you do something, even if it's a basic thing in the beginning, document that because you're showing something to them. Now, later on, this is a good, skill to have, and this is a good practice, but I'm sure a lot of people slack at sometimes. So I don't want to be like, you got to document every single thing, or here you don't have to say, I right click on an Active Directory username, then I went to the properties, and after that I fixed it and this. You don't want to do that. You just want to, of course, do a little bit of basic documentation. But if it's something that it took you 2 to 3 hours to fix, then you want to make sure that it's documented. So that's the whole process. Of course, it's even better than this. Like there's a lot of better explanation than this, but that's just a kind of like, for beginners, I want you to add these few points in there to make more sense to you when you do troubleshooting. So then I'll go back to Kevtech now, and he can take over. Kev, you there?
Yep, I'm here, and I actually agree with everything you said, because definitely you need to document everything. You have no idea how many times I ask for something specific, and then only one person knows how to do it, and they don't tell anyone else. So that gets really annoying. And then actually we had someone. Not to sound like I'm like we have a bad company, but actually I had to let somebody go because of that.
There you go.
I fired somebody because of that.
Yeah,
because they gave really bad customer service, and they never documented anything. And we gave them like more than 3 chances, and they just don't.
Yeah. So the thing is this: look, you're gonna either get fired by doing stuff like that, or you're gonna get fired by not getting or understanding or taking trainings or training yourself, because then people have limitations in IT, right? They cannot go with you for a long time. You're a technical person, right? They cannot go with you for a long time. So you gotta develop a proper way of doing IT, basically. And when we're talking about doing IT, everything is troubleshooting in IT for you, right? Everything is resetting calls, fixing my problem, fixing a software, fixing a printer. I need this software. I need to go to that site. I can't get to it. My computer is slow. Can you fix it for me? Everything is troubleshooting over here. So it gotta have some kind of understanding, learning, and then applying all these things. So now I'm gonna give it to Kevtech, and he can take over, and then we'll come back again.
All right. And I guess I'll be taking control of the screen again, if you don't mind. Give me a second. Hopefully you see my screen. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so this is another weird. Well, this is a common sense issue, but obviously since we're doing level 1 IT, not everyone's gonna know, and there's entry level techs. There's a lot of people that don't know about IT. So obviously, this is something that is silly. It's kind of silly that that we don't talk about. So power options. So power options, right? So if you guys are gonna be like, what is he talking about? So obviously I can't do it on the VM. So I'm gonna go on my computer and do it. So power options. So on laptops, but you can't see it on this because I don't have a laptop. So on laptop, when you close the laptop, closes the lid, it shuts off the computer. So you want to go into power settings and actually change the power settings when you're telling like there's an option here to choose what happens with the lid. You won't have it here. This is a desktop. So you have to actually tell the power settings what to do, because some people they close their lid and then the whole computer turns off and they're like, what the hell happened? Why is it not working anymore? And then some other people, they use their laptop as their main machine. So they want to close the laptop lid and they want to have 2 monitors with a docking station. And then sometimes as a technician or as a tech, you forget to change that setting. So then you start getting calls with them and like, why is display 1 working? Why is display 2 not working? Why is this not working? Why is that not working? So you want to make sure the settings are set up properly prior to giving him a laptop. Always make sure everything is up and running, make sure it's working, and then you can give it to the user, the client, whoever it is. And I don't know if Danish wants to add anything to that.
Well, why is it so important to know about power options now? If people are using desktops in their offices right now, and they're doing what? The whole world is doing what right now? The whole world is doing what? They are remoting into their desktops, most of them, right? If they don't have laptops at home. So what's happening? We are getting bombarded with, can somebody turn on my machine? So there are people inside the building, 1 or 2 people, poor people, they're running around and they're turning on the machines right now. Now, the other fix is that you can do a wake on LAN, right? So you can do that and you can turn on the machine through packets, but that creates a security issue for a lot of people. They're like, no, we can't do this. A lot of security people say, no, we can't do this. So then you have a fight between the security IT managers and sysadmins. That's a different level right there. But why this is so important? Because if you are getting these type of calls, you got to know this stuff, right? You got to go into the machine and then you got to do it for them. Or if they are complaining about something else on their laptop and they're saying my computer is after like I leave for coffee at my home and I was given this laptop by you guys, and then I come back and I'm not even there like for 3 minutes and the computer is like the screen is off right now. So that they're talking about power right there, right? You got to go in there. You got to go do these changes. So of course this is going to involve other skills like remoting into their machines, and we have a full playlist on remoting, and this whole thing started from a remote troubleshooting skill. So that's where some people are asking about ticketing system like Ishi. Some are talking about remote troubleshooting, remoting in. So those are skills, those are processes. We have done that in our first videos. We have covered 10 hours of videos, and then our YouTube channels, both if you go to Kevtech and Jobskillshare, if you're listening, then we have specific playlists on different type of skills, not troubleshooting. Okay, go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, so another thing you want to know, I'm just going like basic stuff. This is like the last one. I'm not going to go over more stuff. It's too much. Yeah, so CMD is your best friend in IT. Like CMD, you can't go wrong with CMD. And obviously, if you work in an environment where you need admin rights to do CMD, you want to hold shift and right click, but I'm not going to do it on this. But basically hold shift and right click and you do run as admin. And then there's a couple of things you could do here. Like say, for example, you want to open up task manager, you type task MGR. So say, for example, for some weird reason, group policy is blocking task manager for someone's computer and they don't have admin rights. You could actually open CMD as an admin and open it for them. So they may want to close out a process. They may want to do something on their computer. And I deal with this all the time. So I have different. So where I work is one company, but we have multiple companies within that one company. So some companies have group policy, some don't have group policy. So when you right click on task manager, it's not available for them. It just doesn't work. So they call me and I have to run it as admin and, do task MGR, which actually allows you to run admin as, as basically in the command line. So that's like one thing you might be, might want to know or might be wary of. And obviously you want to be wary of your admin tools. So if you have your admin tools right over here and you hold shift and right click, you could run as, Same thing with anything, and Danish knows what I'm talking about. Same thing with anything. When you're installing a program, you have to run as, if you're an admin, it's going to ask for admin rights. It's going to say this is blocked by policy. This is blocked because you don't have admin rights. This is blocked because of blah, blah, blah. You know, you're going to have all that. So in some companies, they have 2 admin accounts. I mean, one admin account, one regular account. And some companies have 1 admin account only. And basically you could basically install everything for them. But you always have to run it as yourself, you know? So they will be limited to what they're doing. They won't be able to install anything unless they call you, and then you'll be expected to install it. And Danish will probably agree with me, but obviously you want to figure out why they need it, why they're installing it. You don't want to just randomly install stuff on that computer and then it could get a virus or something like that. So you want to make sure you get approval for that, make sure you're installing something that makes sense. It's not just a random thing that you're installing on their computer. I don't know if Danish wants to say anything about this. You want to say anything?
I mean, the thing is, it's like I said, if you're level 1, like that's what I said in the beginning, if you feel like you don't understand or this is a software, so a lot of people have policies even on softwares. So if you even have to do anything for a user, it has to be approved then. Some places are a little open, so then of course you can, use your best judgment. Don't just go for something that you don't understand.
Yeah, because I had someone install malware on someone's computer and they didn't know it was malware, and then they got in trouble. So as soon as they installed it, we have Silence. Silence blocked it immediately. So Silence grabbed it and blocked it immediately and quarantined.
Hey, let me give you guys a tip. Don't just Google scripts or products in the beginning to do your job. Right now, why are we keeping this so low level in the beginning? Because even this low level is not like low level. It's basically we're using a trusted computer built-in applications that nobody can stop you to troubleshoot. Why would they even hire you then, right? That this is like, you can use it anywhere throughout the world. But then in the future, we're going to show you more scripts or more tools that can be inside the company already, or you can use it to think about that. If I have training on this type of tool, then they may be using something else, so I'm good to go, no problem. This is how I'm confident in my career, because if I got fired today, I can go to a next job and I will become a sysadmin because I already know certain skills that I can implement it over there, or I can learn quickly. Kev will say the same thing. If he get fired from this job, he'll probably go to a different place and he may not be able to use the same tools, but he can understand the other tools. So that's the concept of this training, because you cannot be training yourself on a specific thing over here, guys. So one thing I want to basically, talk about and implement in this training is that don't just focus on one specific way of learning. Open your mind, basically. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what we're doing this. Like, open your mind to more stuff.
All right. So, and Danish is absolutely right. Also, like, something for me, like, I do, like, I don't know if Danish does this, but this is what I do. Like, for example, if there's a computer that I can't go, I don't know, some companies do this. So for some reason, the computer, I can't find certain applications on the start menu and I want to get access to it. I usually go into C drive, local C. Obviously, if you don't know, if you don't know what you're doing here, don't mess with this unless you know what you're doing. And then I actually run as admin over here. So I look for CMD and run as admin on system 32 for that computer. I don't know if any Danish does that. I do that. When I can't get access to a specific thing, I do that. And yeah. This is another thing that happened to me. I'm gonna tell you another thing that happened to me. So a user had an issue where you can't click the start menu, you can't click anything on the desktop, and you can't click the task manager. And I couldn't restart the computer. So since there was a when you go to start menu, you hit shutdown or restart, that wasn't working. And the computer is remotely, like it's remoted in. And I run shutdown -I, which basically I'm going over that right now. So I run shutdown -I, right? So when you do shutdown -I, it allows you to restart a computer. All you gotta do is look for it and put it in, put it here. You put the name of it and you hit OK, and then you could restart the computer. So I was trying to do that and it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. For some reason, it just wouldn't work. So then I'm like, you know what, let me do this. So then I went on his desktop and I right clicked on the desktop and I hit new folder. I started a new folder because I was able to do that. Then I got into the new folder and I went into task manager and I opened task manager from there and I closed all the processes and then the computer worked fine after that. Nice. That happened to me. I don't know. That was a weird issue. I was just sharing you an issue that happened to me. All right, going back into CMD, there's obviously your commands, IP config, you could see my IP address. I don't care. There's IP config release. Obviously, you want to release the DNS.
Now, why would you need to know this stuff, guys? Because a lot of time you either have to do this to find out if this machine have a real IP address. It may have bogus IP addresses, or it may be required from another engineer. Specifically, when you work with a network engineer and they're troubleshooting some type of network issues, you're going to be in the call with them and they're going to say, hey, can I get an IP address? Now, you're not going to tell a network engineer what kind of command should I use to get an IP address, right? That wouldn't look good. So you need to know IP config. Now, sometimes they may say, can I get a default gateway or a DNS? So you would do IP config /all. So maybe Kev, if you can run that all with it. So go ahead and there you go. So you get more information. So they may ask you these things. So what do you need to know? What do you need to do with your practice? Find out how many other commands can you use with IP config. You already know about a basic one, IP config. You already know about /all, and he's going to show you release. But make sure you go in there and find more. Just try it. See what can you find out, right? That's how you're going to learn.
Exactly. So then there's this thing called IP config /help. So if you do that, it'll tell you about all the different commands right over here, actually. So if you type -help, it'll tell you like renew, release, flush DNS, IP config all, renew, release. It tells you all that. So you could actually type help in the command line and it will tell you, it will help you. It's not, it's you know, there's a help tab right there. There's also ping as well. So you could ping like 8.8.8.8. And then, you know, obviously I'm gonna get that because I'm in the server and it's a little messed. The DNS is messed up.
I'll do the ping one because I was. It's funny that we haven't done. We don't call each other like, hey Kev, you're gonna do this and then I'm gonna do this. We're kind of like in sync right now. So when he's done, I'm gonna test you guys. Like, you know, there's something not working. So it's a test time. Everybody gotta get ready now.
All right, and that should be everything for level 1. I could go in depth, but I'm not gonna go because I don't want to make this video too long. So
yeah. The thing is this: we want to keep it, guys, in the beginning. At least you can absorb it. I know there are people who already know a lot of stuff, but you got to keep in mind that our trainings are being watched by people who are totally new, coming from like accounting, coming from business area, coming from that. So we got to respect that, right? We're also kind of like helping those people, right? So if you're ahead of the game, then we got all these other videos that we have done for you on our YouTube, and they're very advanced stuff out there. So make sure that's something you can combine. I'm sure you can search things, right? So you want to show something in an exchange now?
No, I'm not gonna go over it. I just logged into it. I was trying to see if I remember my password.
I was like, whoa, exchange. Okay, there you go. So guys,
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break.
Next time.
Is there any questions from you guys? Anything that you guys can think that this may be asked or anything, so we can just see if you have any questions.
You mean questions just regarding what you've covered?
Yeah. For like this stuff. And if you have more questions about career-related stuff, stay on. We're not going to take this too long, by the way, today. And then you guys can ask more career-related questions, and we'll answer any questions, even if it's not related to troubleshooting. Okay. So guys, it's a little test time right here. Okay, let's see, because these are the stuff you're going to see in a very normal business environment, right? So first of all, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so guys, if we want to, when we basically create a machine for the first time, right? It's a brand new machine, and you already know about the process. I don't want to go there for like what is Active Directory. We have done that. We have added a computer to a domain. We have done that. So if you're watching us today, make sure you watch the video before this playlist. So this is in the playlist, and every video is kind of like in sync. So make sure you watch that video to understand where are these two machines coming from, and how am I using a domain controller inside the cloud, and how this cloud domain controller is connected to a local business. Remember, this is a laptop in UK, this is a laptop in Canada, right? Laptop UK, laptop Canada, and our whole domain controller infrastructure is in Microsoft data center, which I don't know where it is. Okay, so we already know that we are going through some crazy networks right here. Now you tell me if, let's say for example, the laptop from UK, the laptop from Canada wants to RDP to the laptop in UK. Let's say this is a scenario that somebody from here in the UK is sitting in the office or from home right now, the virus is going on, and they're saying, can I get into my laptop in UK because I used to work over there. That desktop is running and stuff like that. So how would you guys deal with this? Can anyone volunteer right here? How would this person connect to that machine?
We'll set up VPN.
So VPN is set up. We're not talking about network right here. How would you get into this laptop UK right now? From here, from Canada to UK. Let me make it a notation right here. From here to here, how would I remote in? Let me even make it easy. How would I remote into that machine from this machine? How do I remote into this machine?
From application remote desktop.
Okay, remote desktop. What is that application name?
RDP.
RDP, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this. So you guys say that it's RDP, so let's go ahead and find RDP, right? So the first thing is you're gonna find RDP, right?
Yeah.
So is this the one?
Yeah.
Perfect, okay, great. So what do I need to put right here to get into this machine?
IP address that machine.
IP or the name?
Or name.
Name, okay. Let's do the name, perfect. Laptop UK. Because this is what's happening.
Domain?
It's already in domain. This is something done, Eddie. So you got to go back if you are confused about domain stuff. This is already done. So now if I click here, this is what's happening, guys. Exactly right now, people are sitting out there and they're calling 10, 15 type of tickets, and the Kev can verify that the ticket is about this right now as we speak. These are the tickets that you're resolving right now. What's happening over here?
Question why I can connect. So we need to ping this host.
Oh, okay, that's a good point right now. Now let's say if this machine was not, I mean, of course we are showing you in a virtual environment, everything is there, but you in a majority of the time in normal environment, you don't see the machine, right? You don't see the machine. So what would you do the first thing to find out about that machine?
Ping it.
Ping it, perfect. You gotta ping that machine. So where do I go to ping that?
CMD.
Perfect. So the people who are brand new, this is the stuff. I know it's gonna look too weird to you or something very strange, but once you do this like 10 times, the people who have already done it, they may be laughing right now. Man, I know this stuff, right? I know you guys are feeling like that right now. But put yourself back in there for the first days. Even opening a CMD is a big deal for a new person, right? What the hell is CMD, right? So now what do? You're gonna write this command that is gonna stick to you for entire your IT life. You cannot get away from ping command. I can guarantee you on that, right? So now what should I type, guys? Laptop. Okay. Now I'm a network engineer and you're telling me, Vilad, I'm gonna pick on you again. I'm gonna always pick on you. I won't leave you, bro.
Great.
So Vilad, I'm like, Vilad, what's going on with this?
Well, I see you have IPv6 address, so you would probably want to use IPv4.
Guys, I gotta come down in 2 minutes. Kev, can you take over just for 2 minutes? I have something important that came up. Okay, just 2 minutes. So.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess it's shut off IPv4.
So you see that he ping and there's a reply. You see it, right?
Yeah. Well, just usually they use IPv4. Well, but it's pinging, yeah.
So you see there's a reply and he was unable to connect. Does that make any sense?
I guess the port on the remote machine closed. It could be one of the issue.
What's the port number?
3389.
Yes. How do you allow the port on the machine?
Through Windows Defender or Windows Firewall.
Sorry guys, I just came back. Something happened already. Okay, guys. So if a network engineer is telling you, Vilad or anybody, that okay, is it pinging? So you're gonna say yes, it's pinging, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna say, okay, can you give me the IP address of that machine? How would you give the IP address now?
Well, this FE80 colon.
But he said, man, you're giving me IPv6. That's not what I want. I want IPv4.
Okay, IPv4 you would need to turn on then.
You need to turn that on. Is it off? How would you find that out? Is it on or off? How would you find that out?
IP config all.
IP config all. Okay. Okay.
So
now, is there any other method, guys, for you to find out IP config? Sorry, the IPv4.
I think if you go to adapter settings.
From ping. Let's make it more specific.
Well, I would need to ping the IP address of the remote machine, if I know that.
Anybody?
Isn't there a flag that you can add to get?
Can you put IPv4 right here like this?
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
It's not working.
I guess you need to put like slash or something.
There you go. Good job. So look at this. Knowing commands can help you very much in this situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do write what? -4.
-4.
Now you got -4. Sorry, not -4. -4, and you got the IPv4 right. This type of knowledge can really help you when you're actually working with a network engineer or sysadmins. Of course, you can do IP config all. That's another way to do it. I'm not saying that's wrong. That's actually right. You're also right, Eddie. You can go to the graphical GUI, but how many steps did you do for that? You took like 6 steps to find an IPv4, right? So this is what you can make your life easy, but if you know these things right there. So now, guys, if I can get into, and the IP is working right now, then as a network engineer will tell you what? Vilad, networking is working, bro. This is not a networking issue.
Well, I would the next step, what I would say, like, can we check, like, is your firewall like blocking that?
Firewall,
so check
usually firewall, let's say I'll turn it off too if it's on or off. Maybe it's already off right now. I think we already turned it on. It's almost it's probably off, but we can, I think, turn off this one thing right here too. But it's connected to domains. I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea. Okay, here. We turn it off. Here,
okay, I think the first thing what I actually ask is the RDP configured on the
what's configured?
Remote machine. Like remote desktop.
Oh,
is it configured on the remote
there you
machine?
go. There you go. So how do I fix that?
I go to the system, start system.
I go to start. I go to what system then?
System info.
System info.
Yeah, about system info. Okay, and remote setting.
Remote settings, perfect.
Okay, allow the remote connection to this computer.
It's such a basic thing, guys, but it's such a everyday kind of thing that you're gonna definitely at some point hit this ticket for sure, right? Because how many people are remoting into this machine, and specifically today, the reason I'm doing a lot of remote troubleshooting is if you landed a job now, this is what you're dealing with. And of course, after this, there's more other remote tools like Teams, you can take over the screen, Zoom, you can take over the screen. We're talking about a real RDP right here. Of course, those are other things. And that we have a full playlist in our Jobskillshare channel. And then the full playlist is about how do you use Zuho Assist? How do you use Zoom? How do you use this and that? How do you use AnyConnect? How do you use all that? We have done that. So if you want to enhance this learning now, you should actually go and do that part right there, okay? So if I do apply right now, then what happened after this? Can I do RDP right now, guys?
Yeah, you should.
It should.
It should work.
Yeah, you should.
Perfect. It should work. Now, most of the time, a lot of people then have this problem if they're using their home RDP. Can you guys see my screen, by the way?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so if you see this screen right now, which Kevtech already talked about, this prompt is gonna be always, you're gonna come across it always. How are you gonna come across this prompt? Through software installations, through evaluating the admin rights, to joining a computer to a domain, to RDP. So this prompt is very important for you. And actually accessing a site that is Active Directory control. So if there's a website that you use SSO or authentications kind of stuff from your local on-premises network, then it's going to give you all these prompts inside the browser. So you can still lock yourself out from this. So this is a perfect place where people start locking themselves out. How do they lock themselves out? Because their computer usually shows something like, let's say Kevtech. It's going to show something like this, right? And then the password on the bottom, it's going to be something like local machine name, not this demo DC here. So if they're keeping doing that and doing that, then it won't work. It won't work. Nothing will work. So then if they change the domain and they don't put the right password, they will lock themselves out. So that becomes an issue, right? So where do you need to now learn about this type of troubleshooting? You need to learn about what? What is that? Where do you fix these issues when people get locked out?
In Active Directory?
Active Directory.
Active Directory.
Perfect, because we have done Active Directory like millions of times now in our platform. So make sure you guys go and type Jobskillshare Active Directory, type Kevtech Active Directory, and you're going to find gazillion amount of videos from us. Trust me, it's like too many. I mean, Active Directory is like our platform is full, because that's such a place and such a first core requirement for you. If you don't understand that Active Directory thing, then of course now you're stuck. And this is why I wanted to do this lab with you guys. Why? Because if you didn't know about Active Directory, can you guys use a common sense over here? Would you be able to fix this issue if somebody get locked out right here?
Probably not. We'll escalate that.
So let me tell you right now, the whole part of this video was what? So you got to understand the process. You got to understand the network at least such a basic level, so you do not get stuck in here. Now, I can train a person like for 15 hours and doing troubleshooting. And to be honest, I will not even cover 0.00000% of the world troubleshooting that's happening in the whole world right now. So it doesn't make it's making no sense for a professional or for a trainer or for a mentor or for a YouTuber to spend that kind of time without teaching a proper way of the first areas, like the Active Directory stuff. So if you think about our training, and when we started with Kevtech, in the beginning we started with what? The first video was what? About career. The second video was what? We started to create a whole domain controller from scratch. So even though that was not your part of your job, but now you understand how this whole network was created in the first place. Then when we phase you into Active Directory, and then you started to learn all these troubleshooting. So it doesn't make sense to you guys these days now, like why we are doing this in sync. Does it make sense?
Makes a whole lot.
Yeah, it does.
And the quick note I want to say is, like, you could sit here and teach somebody all this, but the thing is that it's not about doing it. It's about understanding why you're doing it. And that's something that you got to keep in mind.
Yeah, perfect. So of course, after this, if username and password is correct, you can RDP into the job is over. I mean, the ticket is resolved. The troubleshooting part is over. The rest is another thing. Maybe you may get another call that I cannot print locally now. I cannot open my audio from there. And of course, you can go along and we'll never finish it. So that's something you should learn. You should Google things and find more issues. Or if you are not taking stress, I'll say if you know this much, don't take too much stress over here for level 1 people. If you know this much, land a job and learn what you're going to see then, right? That's my concept of telling people. You don't want to get into becoming a master before you even land a job. It won't work. You'll just burn yourself out. Am I right, Kevtech, in this one?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I actually was going to ask you like, I'm trying to RDP to my UK computer, and for some reason it's only showing me on one screen. I want to use both my monitors. How do you fix that?
There you go. This is going to be another, like, if you have 2 monitors right there, then you got to make sure you go into the RDP settings and the settings, and you have to turn on certain features in there. Some of them are you have to turn on the printers, or you got to turn on the monitor. Like he was telling in one of his live session, when a person couldn't do a full something about resolution, right? You talked about it. And then he was saying that, hey, we're using Citrix for that. Citrix is controlling that stuff. I can't fix that on RDP. So this is where then you gotta go understand the product that company is using. And that's where, what do I say to you? If you know about RDP, if you know the basics of getting into the machine, then let them teach you that stuff. If it becomes a specific product later on, let them teach you that. That's why they're okay with that. That's why you heard Rahal on the phone in the beginning. The person who was hiring him, he hired him with almost no experience. But he told him that I went through all this training and everything, so I know all this stuff. So he's like, okay, why don't you learn these other things like log me in, Teamweaver, stuff like that, because that's what they use, right? So he wasn't expecting him to know all that stuff. He just told him can you just kind of go outside and learn it on your own, and Rahal did that. He's doing that right now. Okay, is Rahal in this meeting, by the way? I want to see if Rahal, are you there? Okay, maybe he's busy. Okay,
guys, I'll be back. I gotta feed the dog.
Okay, sure.
Donish, I wanna use both my monitors. Why is it not working? Why is it only working on one monitor?
So one of my monitor is basically I pick him and trashed him. So here's the thing, guys. So I set up a monitor today. I think I'm going to show this right here on the uploaded right here. So let me just pull up right now. What did I do for this one? So there could be many reasons for that, right? If you are using, there are many different type of solution for this. So let's say, for example, I bought 2 monitors from my brother today. I'm going to upload that video, by the way, today. So I have one monitor that was using HDMI, and I have one monitor that was using VGA, right? So what happened was that when I went in and I logged in and I wanted to basically help him out, he wasn't using the right settings for one of the monitors that he wanted to remote in, because the right side monitor has a lot of resolution. On the left side monitor wasn't like that. So RDP has limitations, right? So basically, you went into the RDP settings, and since these are virtual machines, I can't do that right now. But you basically go to the RDP settings, and you have to basically then pick the monitor's settings from there. There's a resolution settings, and then still the monitor was not actually working correctly how you want it. You cannot do 2 monitors like this. Like if you're sitting remotely, you can't just do like screen. I'm gonna go from left to right monitor like that. That doesn't work in RDP unless I'm kind of outdated on this. Maybe Kevtech can help me with this, but I couldn't do that. So what I did for him, I was like, okay, you got to use a different tool for this kind of stuff. So we have this tool called, I don't know if you know about Kevtech. I even use it on this machine right here. Let me show it to you. Here. Mouse without border. Have you ever heard of this one? I don't think so, right? So when we got into RDP right here, this is the tool that probably I'll make a video. So on the left side, he has a monitor. On the right side, he has a monitor, and he has a second machine, and he can use 3 machines by going like that through the network. I know it's a little advanced stuff, and I'll make a video on this, but this is what we did for him. And I wasn't able to fix that issue because one of his monitor has a very low resolution, and one of the monitor that he bought is a curved monitor. So the monitor is this big, right? So that didn't work for him. So I'm not sure if you have a better way to do this, Kev. I don't have a solution for that, for this kind of 2 different monitors that have a very extreme low level and a very extreme high level resolutions. What do you think about that?
No, we usually have them. We usually have everything uniform, so they use the same 2 monitors. It's not 2 different monitors. It's not going to work.
And that's a common issue in the companies, right? If they buy, if a director say that I really love that curved monitor, can you guys buy it for me? And if your team has already bought, let's say, a very low resolution, all type of monitors, then you gotta have a problem right there. Then you have to buy at least either the 2 exactly same monitors to make it work, or you gotta basically come up with at least a little better monitor that has a higher level resolutions, or else you're gonna have a lot of issues. And that's a very common thing that we face in IT. Of course, then you have more solutions for this, but it gets more advanced. Like I said, the one that I'm using, I have 3 machines in front of me right now, and I can go through all these 3 machines, but that's not RDP anymore then. It's like you need more than that. What Kevin was saying, that you need Citrix for certain things, and that would be that. We also use Itarian. That has its own tools to connect to machines. So that has its own way of connecting to the monitors. So there's a bunch of solutions for you, but at the same time, as a level 1, we don't want you to get into that detail because you're not going to be fixing something like that, especially for first week of your job or the second week of your job. You won't be able to do that. But if you really want to understand and kind of like in the beginning, I highly recommend just making sure you go to the local resources of the RDP. You go in and check these things out right here, because that's going to matter right here, right? Kev, this is where you're going to come across, and you're going to basically start to playing around with the voice that people are going to be calling you. They're going to be calling you by the printers, which is a very common one. They log into the machine and they want to print from their office machine, right? From their office machine, then of course you gotta understand this process. Or they maybe want to using their local machine and stuff like that. And then sometimes if they are VPN-ing, they're using a VPN, and then they're using RDP, and then they're using all these settings. There's a lot of issues that we're facing right now. There you go. Kev is like shaking his head like, I know what you're talking about. Okay, guys, so One last thing I want to discuss today in this session, and then we're going to end it, and we're going to make session 2 on this, because this is such a big area that we're just going to keep making videos. What do you think, Kev? Is that a better way to do it?
I'm still waiting for our IT dance off. We didn't do that yet.
I'm going to do that at the end of the video. I'm going to do that when they start asking me. I'm going to do a dance off right now.
Okay. All right.
So guys, one last thing I want to talk about now is that, okay, these are certain type of things that we discussed right now. And kind of like, you know, giving you a practical start to kind of like a feeling of it. So if you think you're a brand new person and you're watching this and like, man, these guys are like too fast, or this is just too much for me in the beginning, then what did I tell you in the beginning? You got to learn what? Fundamentals, right? You got to learn where the things are starting from, how things are connected, TCP, UDP. If you're doing a RDP, what kind of connection is it using? If you are inside the network, is it LAN, WAN, PAN, CAN, MAN, CHAN, PAN, TRAN? I don't know what that is. There's so many, right? So what is that, right? There's hubs and there's switches and there's routers. So certain things you just need to understand at a very big level, right? Fundamentals of it. Then you can slowly phase in. If you want to invest money, then of course you can take this type of courses, like which is hands-on labs right there. Like as you can see, this is a CompTIA type of courses, and these are hands-on. If you don't want to invest money, then go for professormesser.com. He has a free content, the same content, but it's free videos. Everything is like theoretical videos and some demos. And then you have Kevtech channel full of real world stuff, basic stuff. Every day he's posting videos. So it's a combination of learning multiple different type of things to become an IT professional. You're not going to become an IT professional from 5 or 6 or 7 sessions. I can guarantee you on that. You're not going to become, even if you land a job, that doesn't mean you are an IT professional. IT professional, when I say IT professional, this person has kind of like can go over the level 1 without even thinking. That's an IT professional, like in my word, because that IT professional can get fired anytime and he can land a job anytime. But you as a level 1 right now, if you get fired by just learning how to RDP, you cannot land another job. It's going to be really hard for you, right? So you got to understand this, what we are telling you right here. We're telling you that there is some learning required before you do this. And the learning is provided to you for free. The first phase right here, this whole right here, this is like a huge amount of content right here. All of this stuff, if you finish it and you jump into our YouTube videos, I think you're good to go. But then, of course, some people want to do more hands-on stuff, then I want to also give them ability, because I have members sitting in this training, they have spent $1,000 right there. So I want to also tell them that you guys have what? You guys have a practice lab, a $48,000 value for 1 year. So why would you even waste this access? Kev, I sometimes give this access to people in trainings and they never open it. And I'm like, you spend that kind of money and you're not going to open something so powerful right here that we're giving you, you have paid for it. So my suggestion to people is that if you then, you know, are interested in knowing more advanced or hands-on stuff, then you got practice lab right here and go for it. Open these labs right here. If you click on CompTIA A+, all the things that we're discussing, it's like 48 hours of content is right there, hands-on. So you can see it has everything: security issues, practical issues, change management, every single thing that you can come across. So you don't want to lose this access. With our YouTube channels, those are real world scenarios, those are live, those are the things that are happening. With then you have more professional learning that you can keep doing it to develop your skills, right? So now, last thing I want to jump into is one example to you, because we didn't touch sysadmin and we're not going to go into sysadmin in this session, but I'm just going to give you a feeling of it, a touch of it, right? Because I have spent so much time in this area too. So now guys, if I am, let's say, downloading a Firefox on this machine, right? This is a normal user. He's using a Firefox machine, and I think Kevin already touched this part right here. So I want you guys, somebody to volunteer of what's happening right here. What's happening?
You're not allowed.
Why? How do you determine that I'm not allowed right here? Because of this message?
Yeah, it says your system administrator, contact your system administrator for more rights.
Okay, so who can give me a better answer that where is this getting blocked from?
Is that like a group policy issue?
Perfect.
Active Directory?
You just hit the nail right there. No Active Directory, don't say Active Directory, it's a group policy.
Group policy.
Okay, if I want you to confirm it to me, how would you do that? You cannot log into server. You're not a sysadmin. You can log into my server right now. How would you confirm this? Win2, you don't have access. You don't get that kind of rights as a first technician who's joining this company for the first day. You don't get group policy access. Especially
well, I will take screenshot of the and send it to the sysadmin through the ticket system.
Let me tell you something here. Another thing that's very important before we end this training is knowing where is everything logged. So what am I talking about here? If I say logging, what are we talking about here?
Event viewer.
Event viewer. Who said that?
Jerry.
Me.
Jerry's a pro right here. I'm sure he's gonna say. So guys, event is something. If you have to leave this training, I want you guys to go to your own event viewer inside your computer, and you're gonna be amazed if you're looking at this for the first time how many things your computer is logging right now. Everything that you do in this computer is getting logged. You log in, you log out, you click on something, you have errors, you have problems going on. Your event viewers are already telling you stuff, right? So if, let's say, for example, you come over here and somebody says, can you prove it to me that this is group policy? Where would you go? You're going to go to Windows.
Security.
Security or applications?
No, application.
There you go. So what does it say, guys?
It's right there. Firefox installer exe has been restricted.
It's right there. So what I wanted to basically show to people is that certain things are outside of your hands. You can't do anything about it. If they have blocked it, and now here's another problem with this. Not every application will give you a system administrator have blocked it. Now what are you gonna do? It doesn't give you a message. It just goes away. You're still going to come back to what?
Check your event.
You still have to come back to events, because this is an example that it was by design I blocked it, right? But not, what if you have an application that is having a normal issue? Like you double click on it and nothing is happening. You click on it and you get some weird error. Where should you come first then? Go to the events, right? Yeah. And it's not going to be so sweet and simple for you in the beginning, right? They're not going to just say, oh, we blocked this application and we have this. Maybe sometimes will be some weird error. And then after this, what should start? What should kick in after that? If you don't understand this message and you find out, okay, this is a message about this and this and this, this is the warning, this is the event ID right here. What will be my next approach after this?
I would take the event ID number. Sometimes they provide you a link on the bottom, and you could search it through the messages, or if that's beyond your level, you could give that to your admin or whoever's in charge of fixing that.
Or you can use one of the best friend in IT is who?
Google.
Okay, Google is also best friend, but also you should be in a community. Now today I want to share another tip with you guys. I know you guys already know from my training and other people. Spiceworks. Heard of this name? Anyone?
Spiceworks.
Okay, so write it down. Spiceworks. Spiceworks has more than probably 6 to 7 million right now. I'm outdated. So the people that you're looking right now, Kevtech or me, there are tens of thousands of people who have better experience than us in Spiceworks. Now, that should tell you something now. If you went to Google, you can figure it out, right? And you did all the research, you did all your troubleshooting, then you take all that query or question, and you did it what? You went in out there and you now asked specifically IT professionals in their community for free. And in 2 minutes, they're gonna start sending you solutions. Now, isn't that a better IT friend right there? So you got Google in there, but then you went in more specifics, because you cannot call me that Danish, I was checking your training on YouTube, so let me, there's an issue going on, can you fix it for me? No, we don't do that. Mentors or training don't do it, because we can't do that. I mean, are we going to be fixing people's issues, or we're going to be training people, right? It's just not going to work. So this is my thing is that do not rely on me, do not rely on Kevtech. Come back to our trainings, come learn from us, take advices from us and everything. But at certain places and certain time, we cannot even help you legally, right? If there's an issue going on inside your company, Kevin's not allowed to remote into your machine in a company, right? So you cannot, but you can definitely use what? Google. You can definitely use Spiceworks, because they can only suggest things to you, and then you have to apply that, right? So this is one of the examples that I wanted to do. Now, how did I do this, and how this whole thing is happening? That's, of course, as a sysadmin level. stuff, I can go back to group policy and show it to you, but it's going to get too big. But before we end, I want to just to show you what are we going to do next time is this right here. So I think this is something that if you guys want to see, okay, hey, I'm really interested in knowing this stuff. So this is what I'm talking about right here. So guys, this is about, I don't know, about 100 tickets or about 150 tickets. Watch what it is. I cannot, these are real tickets. It says I cannot open Microsoft Teams. It says I can provide, this site cannot be, this site cannot be open because it's having a secure issue. And on the bottom, the other one, have you seen these errors? I'm sure you guys seen this. The site can be reached, right? This is the real tickets that we're dealing with these days as a help desk or as a sysadmin. Both we work together. And then of course, if you guys started seeing this type of messages in this session, I'm sure you guys are going to pass out right now. Because if you see now, a sysadmin is what? Dealing with this type of errors. A sysadmin get into, and then he get this type of errors. I get this type of errors. And I need to understand these type of gibberish right there, right? You don't understand this. Right? So then I get into more detail and detail and detail. And as a sysadmin, I don't just kind of like, this is why I wanted to show this at the end, just to give you an idea of what sysadmin usually deals with. Sysadmin don't have the ability to just give out the ticket or image machines to anybody else. A sysadmin is hired and they get paid more. Why? Because they gotta what? They gotta fix the issue. They can't say, I gave up. They can't say, I gave up. I'm going to give it to another person. Now, I'm sure in some companies, they have the ability and everything, but that's just, sysadmin is not designed for that. That's why they got the job. They got this 80, 90, 100K money right there because they are dealing with an error like this in the beginning. They're going to see a site cannot be reached. So the help desk job is going to be what? To verify that this site is not working overall. It's not just a one specific machine issue, right? If it was a one machine issue, then it's a help desk call, right? You could have fixed it by many things, like maybe open a different browser. Maybe it's something is wrong with the IP address. Maybe you can totally re-image the machine. This is your master golden key machine, like image, right? You just give the new image, new machine, and your problem solved, right? You can get away with many things, right? But let's say if this is not an issue, it's a whole overall company issue, then a system admin has to know this type of stuff. Now, how many people have, when I do IIS, site down, app pool, how many of you know this stuff?
Nope.
Nobody?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. Well, who said that? Kevin? Kev, yeah, Kev. Okay, Kev is there.
Yeah,
I'm looking at your video. I'm like, where did you go? So guys, a sysadmin has to know if it becomes a level issue where a technician cannot resolve, or technician have assigned it to sysadmin because technician says, this is not my job right here. I checked it with all of the machines that I know and it's not working. So guys, it's going where? It's going to sysadmin, right? So a sysadmin then needs to know something in very detail. They cannot get out of that detail. So that's why they pay them what? They pay them, that's the next level, right? After help desk, that's the next level, because you need to understand this code right here. So if you send me this code right now, I say, this makes no sense to me. I need to know, I need to get a better code than this. This is not the code that I want, right? So as a sysadmin, then I need to get into, do something to generate a code like this. Now, this is the issue that's going on with that site. A real error is this. So anybody looking at this screen, can somebody tell me what's going on over here? Ricardo is like, what the hell is this, man?
No, because I get the email that works.
Something with SQL Server. SQL Server configure.
Somebody said what?
Something with SQL Server.
Something to do with the SQL Server. Now, this is a great point, but here's the thing. Now, as a sysadmin, what do you need to know?
Well, I guess you need to figure out, SQL Server.
There you go. I wanted to know. The reason I show you this example is just one example, but look how many things I need to know. I need to know about server. I need to know about the web server. I need to know about the things running inside the web server. I need to know about the config file of the server. Then I need to know about what SQL Server, because I know this issue is with the SQL Server. It's just not right. Something is not right. So as soon as you, of course, after that, when you realize that there's an issue going on, then the other thing about sysadmin is that this person has to be really good at finding information. And how do you do that? You gotta use like Notepad. You got to use like even some tools that can look for a specific issue right there. So here, I'm pointing right here. I'm looking for what SQL, and then I need to change a SQL value. And after when I fix that, the site comes back up, and the developer is happy, the users are happy. But I just wanted to show you this, just an example to you guys that a sysadmin training is not a joke, right? It cannot. That's why I tell people that you cannot become a sysadmin without going through level 1 for this specific reason. How can you fix this issue if you don't even know that this kind of? Who's that?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a when can you scroll down? Those are all instances, right? Like
all of these
errors that are coming up on that particular server. So if something happens.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a little trouble right here. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like when you saw the thing, when you saw the error with the SQL, right? Like all of those are instances. So if that's a problem, you have to look for where. Obviously, that means something is broken somewhere on that server, one of the scripts. So you got to. So you were saying earlier, they would just clear up wherever it's causing that error, and then it'll get.
So basically, in this specific example, of course, you have to see what exactly the error is. So the error is basically it's not pointing to the right SQL server at all. It's just that so a server was upgraded, a site was upgraded to a new server, and now somebody didn't do a good job with the config files. They didn't upgrade that, and now we have this issue.
Okay, I got you.
Right, but the first issue is actually not a SQL issue. If you look at this one, this is not a SQL issue, guys. This is actually a part of that, but this is a different issue. So if you see a message like this, what can happen here? I put some information, right? But we're gonna go over this stuff. Don't stress too much about this stuff.
Some trouble with DNS.
Something to do with the DNS. So basically, this site is down because it doesn't have the right IP address. There's no IP address in that server. So it's just, if you don't have an IP address assigned to a website, then how can you open the site? It won't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, guys, don't put too much stress on this right now, because this training is not gonna go somewhere else then. So, but I just want to say that you see this document right here. This is all help desk tickets right here, and we're gonna go over one by one. These are all real tickets. So this is right here. This is gold right here for you guys. So if you guys want to come back to the next session, we're not gonna talk about theories and basic stuff. We're just gonna straight get into the tickets like this, and we're gonna talk about it. So if we can talk about these tickets, and trust me, if we can finish all of these tickets in 1 or 2 sessions, to be honest, you got an experience of, let's say, 6 months worth of professional experience right here, because we do things repetitively. And these tickets are what? These are unique tickets. So you make these tickets and multiply into then another 15 similar tickets, then you got like 500 tickets right there, right? So that means throughout my 3 months or 6 months, that's how many tickets probably are resolved. And if you learn this stuff, this means you have that kind of experience. This is such a goal for you guys that nobody have taught us like this. We have learned it on job, and we spent so much time repetitive. And then we get to the point, I'm like, why am I doing this repetitive crap? I need to learn better than this. I need to learn something different, right? Correct. So guys, this is it for today. I'm also exhausted. Kevin also exhausted. If you have any questions right now, basic career-related question, please ask us and we can talk about it. First thing I want to ask people that, did you guys like this training? The people who are in this training?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was good.
Thank you. So go ahead.
I have a question. All right, now I know you guys, these are like tickets that you guys are sharing, like for scenarios. Is there a resource where like a person like me, like I like to lab all the time, right? I like to like simulate something, right? Is there a resource where I could get like those type of tickets and then like recreate them and then redo it myself when you guys are not live?
So definitely
outside of your course, which I'm gonna take.
Yeah. You know. So definitely there is no this is why we're doing this, because no one have this type of training outside, and that's why we're sharing tickets based on that. But there is nothing out there that simulate a basically it's going to be inside a course. So let's say you're taking let me show you. So if you're taking, and I'm giving you an example, you don't have to go and buy these labs, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so you can go to, let's say for example, you're doing a 300 CCNA lab, right? So if you're going to come over here on the bottom, let's see, I don't know if this is a good there you go, like configuring a syslog for switching and routing right here, right? So a ticket is basically is going to tell you a sys administrator needs to, network engineers needs to, get a sys log connected to a router so then it can get what? It can get all the logs right here. That's kind of like a ticket, right? But then there's going to be scenarios inside the networking courses, inside any type of courses, that's going to be troubleshooting type of sections. So there is no specific course out there that's designed by ticketing. We're the only one that are doing this in our trainings right now. So you won't see a full-blown course based on let's just talk about everything about ticketing. It has so if you look at it outside right now, Ricardo, is this Ricardo right here?
Yeah, it's Ricardo.
Okay, so Ricardo, the problem is that a lot of the courses are designed by what? By certifications, right? So if you take CompTIA A+ certifications, their focus is going to be only in the CompTIA A+ certifications, and they're going to have a lot of learning, and then they will go to troubleshooting, right? So you won't see a course that it's going to be only based on ticketing. Now that's what we are doing in this next session. We're bringing all these tickets out there, so we're going to talk about it and maybe do a little bit touching in their labs, but we won't be doing all these tickets hands-on. It doesn't make sense. We're going to spend 1 hour in one ticket. That's just right. You know that, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it to make it more, for people to understand these tickets, basically.
Okay. This is great stuff you guys are doing, man.
Yeah, and if you are also interested in this, this is also our partner, but we give this in our live training. But you can also go to their site directly, testout.com. I'm not sure if you probably heard of them too.
Yeah.
So their actually sessions and scenarios are also based on, let's suppose there's a system administrator, and then he has to do this and this and this and this. So that's kind of like a ticket, basically. But it's not going to be real.
Yeah, that's great.
But Ricardo, it's not going to be real like this one, because this is what we are basically experiencing this, right? It's not going to be like this. No courses are going to be like
right. You know what it is? I studied certification for so long, and it's like I want to get to the action, So it's like when I see the ticket, this is the real action right here. So it's real good to see you guys.
Now let me tell you why people can't do this, because one ticket can lead to so many different skills. Like I just explained, the systems administrator. It started with the help desk. And then after that, the help desk went all the way to SQL Server, to IAS. I mean, how many things are you going to learn in one ticket then? One ticket will become one course. Like one ticket will just become one course then.
That's true.
So that's why people can't, because it's just it's like a human energy. We don't have that kind of energy to do this, But we can definitely go through all of the tickets at once and just talk about it, because just talking can give so much knowledge to people that definitely can be a very good thing. So any other questions or anything from other people?
I have one question. So for the CompTIA just in general, because they changed like the policy in terms of taking the exam. So is it going to be online, or are they going to postpone it till things get situated, or?
I mean, I heard the CompTIA is actually going online, but I mean, I'm not a certification fan right here, so maybe Kevtech might like this kind of stuff. But I'm more like I'm into more real world skills. I feel like people can do way better in the beginning with the skills, and then later on, once you get into IT, then actually you can use and utilize certification for your benefit. That's my mentality. That's how I have success with my career. And that's the people that are getting trained with us, kind of like that, have the same mentality. So, but I'm not promoting this. If you want to go for certification, then I would definitely recommend you go to some of the channels that are very focused on certifications. They can really, really help you. Maybe Kev have more information on this.
Yeah. So to answer that question, so CCNA and CompTIA A+, they're both talking about it. So it's going to be online. So you should be able to do it from home. So it's not going to happen now, but in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be able to actually take the exam at home instead of you actually going to a physical place, because of all this craziness that's going on right now. They're doing everything online at home. So you'll have the option to do that, and then they'll mail you your certification if you pass. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's like the last thing I really think about certification. I just more focus on hands-on work and things like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I got the certificate. I mean, it's like Dinesh said. Like it's a lot of, in my experience, the tech skills, knowing what you do, is what gets you the job. At least the certification gets you looked at. So if you're in the field and you know what you're doing, just get those extra certs, and then that keeps you alive in the market. You know what I mean? but knowing it is important.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's where a lot of our people are coming to us, right? They have CCNAs and they have all these certifications, but they can't use it. So I'm like, all we are saying is that why do it such a hard way? Why don't you learn the skills first and then, you know, utilize these certification for your benefit later on? Because those becomes like a paper to you at the end. You know, you really gotta understand what we're teaching you right now, to be honest, is like if you can go over free content, free YouTube content, you can do so much that it will take you to different levels right now.
That's the thing with me. Like Jobskillshare doesn't like. He probably knows, and I did this in a live video before. I had someone that had like 1,000 certifications, and then when I went to train them or ask them questions, they knew absolutely nothing. So they had a bunch of certifications and they didn't know what they were talking about. So you know, obviously, anyone could read a book and memorize the answers and answer the questions and then get the certification. But then when you actually do the hands-on training and you actually question them about that certification, they don't know what the answer is, and you know you're in trouble. You're not gonna get hired. It's just being honest.
So guys, at the end, I also want to share this because I was about to forget this. Now, remember, we are not just sharing Practice Lab or testout.com. We ourselves are a skills-based platform. We've been doing this for 5 years. So throughout this 5 years, if you look at it right here, if you're a member, you can go to this 3,000 plus videos. And this is a gold right here because we are actually creating videos on top of the labs right now. So if you feel like you want to learn about troubleshooting, all you got to do is to type troubleshooting right here. Just watch what happens. If I just type troubleshoot, then there you go. You got a bunch of videos about Windows errors, troubleshooting boot errors, all this stuff. You can go all the way down. I mean, like I said, I can keep going with these videos and it will never end. So just to show you our ability, that what we are bringing to you is just crazy right here. Because one, we are bringing Practice Lab, another, we're bringing testout.com, and then we have our own ability to create certain things. And Kev, if you look at 3,800 video, people just like, what, right? People like in the beginning, like, what the hell are wrong? Are you guys just sitting there making videos every day or what? But at the end, people don't know that we are actually a platform. I have 7 people working with us, right? So they are engineers, they are sysadmins, they're creating this stuff. So if you are interested in this kind of stuff, of course, this is not going to be free. I'm paying this kind of stuff, right? So a lot of people, they have to also keep that in mind, that if you want to use our resources like lab servers, routers, and then have this type of ability to just go and type anything, like for example, I want to know about SCCM and just type SCCM as a term, and then you start learning about it. Of course, SCCM is not there. That's a bad example. So like, that was a bad example here. WDS, I was confused. So if you took WDS right there and look at this, WDS came up, and that's kind of like advanced skills that we're talking about in the future, that say, how do I deploy a machine, like 10 machines, 20 machines using WDS? So you can learn these types of terms from our own site. So you don't even have to go outside to have certain level of understanding. But from the beginning, we have just too much access right here. So don't get lost in this stuff. We're going to be there for you. Every time we do these kind of sessions, use it for your own benefit, because these are free, right? Whatever we have taught you, all the stuff that we're doing, this is free stuff, and this is quality stuff. This is the stuff that people have, they pay for stuff that only when they need something from us as an equipment or our hard work. That's it. That's what we're charging you for. Other than that, we're there for you 5, 3, 4 hours every day on YouTube. We're not charging people for this stuff. And we also appreciate you trusting in us, that you're spending so much time with us. So I appreciate that, because that also is something that, that shows that you guys are trusting us. You guys probably love Kevtech, and probably follow me as a mentor over here. I respect that, because so many people are respecting us. So that's something that we also love it, and that's what makes us give this confidence and this positiveness that we are coming back for you guys. Okay. So I think with this, we are going to end it. If you guys have more questions, make sure you put it in the comment section of this video. And of course, next time when we meet again, we're going to expand this troubleshooting area even more, because we're going to create a different playlist, and troubleshooting will just go in there. So maybe tomorrow, if Kevtech already did his troubleshooting, I'm just going to grab his links and just put it into our playlist. So this way, it doesn't become, we have a one long video to break into troubleshooting, and then we have a small videos to just go back and forth with different things. Right, Kevtech? Would that be a good suggestion? All right, guys. So All right, guys. So we're done over here. Thank you, Kevtech, for being with us, and also for everybody. Is anything last comment before I click that cancel button?
You're set. You're good.
All right, guys. You have a good night. And again, when I teach something for 3 hours, 2 hours, I have to sleep for 5 days. So we didn't do dance at this one because I can't do dance right now. I'm too tired. But Kev, promise next time we're gonna do dance.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you so much, and be safe out there.
All right, later.
All right, take
Thank
care.
you. Later.
Later.
Thank you.
Welcome. Take care.